We provide off-grid energy services for those without electricity. Right now, 1.8 billion people worldwide don't have access to electricity, including around 90% of the East African population. And the situation is only getting worse. Due to rapid population growth, coupled with the very slow expansion of the electric grid, the population without electricity actually continues to rise. And just to give context, around 3 out of 4 people in East Africa live on less than $2 a day. So expensive solutions are not going to cut it. In the absence of electricity on grid, most of the population relies on kerosene for lighting, similar to the kerosene lamp that I have here. Unfortunately, kerosene is very expensive. Households spend between 10 and 40% of their income on kerosene. It's very unhealthy. It emits noxious fumes. It's polluting, as it's a carbon dioxide emitter. It's an inadequate light. It's not very bright. And lastly, it's dangerous. This is actually a picture I took of a child in Rwanda who was burnt on more than 50% of her body from knocking over a kerosene lamp. So a lot has been made of solar lights, as that's the solution to the problem. But as it stands now, 0.5% of the off-grid market uses solar lights. A recent study by the World Bank in Dalberg found that under ideal conditions, that means the price of solar dropping dramatically, improved distribution channels, lower taxes, best case scenario, 5% of the market will use solar lights in 2015, leaving 95% of the market still without a viable option. So why is solar not reaching the other 95%? The biggest reason, as I see it, is price. When you're talking about subsistence farmers, people living on $1 to a day, who might not see any income at all for months at a time, a $20 to $50, and you might say, well, what about the $10 solar lanterns? Don't they exist? And there are some of those. But even $10, if you can't pay in installments, all at once is quite a high upfront fee. And also those $10 lamps have solar panels about this big. Now, during rainy season, as is right now, panels that small are not going to charge very well. So you're not going to have reliable access to light and energy. And at night, no matter how big the panel is, you're not going to charge at all. So given that the electric grid is not expanding fast enough, given that population continues to rise, and given that solar lights are not the solution for 95% of the population, we at Nuru Energy ask ourselves, what can we do? How can we take proven business models from other industries and adapt them to solve the crisis of rural energy? So we looked at kerosene, as I said before, which I explained why it's such a bad product, but yet 2/3 of the population, African population, still use this product. And that figure is even higher in East Africa. And then mobile phones. A study last year found that 65% of the population at least has access to a mobile phone, and that figure continues to rise. And what these two industries have in common is a very low upfront cost, a matter of a few dollars. That means that even the poorest households can afford it without any savings. And then there's minimal recurring fees. And those fees are tied to how much you actually use the product. So the poorest households can economize their use. When you look at the figures, a kerosene lamp, like the one I showed before, is less than $1. And you can buy secondhand mobile phones for less than $10. And then to continue to use them, you pay as you go, and it's a matter of cents each time you pay. So we at Nuru Energy spent 3 years studying off-grid energy use, looking at these models, and seeing how we can adapt them to solve the crisis of rural energy. And what we came up with was a Nuru lighting system, which consists of the Nuru light and the Nuru power cycle pedal generator. The Nuru light shines for 28 hours of use with every recharge. That means if you use the light for 3 or 4 hours a night, you only need to recharge it every 7 to 10 days. And the light itself is incredibly functional. You can use it around your neck, as I have it. It comes with a hook, so you can hang it up. It's freestanding. You can actually connect multiple lights together. It also comes with an optional ambient light attachment, so you can attach it and light up an entire room. So the light itself is just $5 to purchase, and you can pay that $5 in 3 monthly installments. This means that even while you're purchasing the Nuru light, it's cheaper than what you're spending on kerosene. And then once a week or every 10 days, you spend 20 cents and you have your light recharged. The result is an 85% reduction in cost compared to kerosene. Now the Nuru light, we also had to come up with a very fast and reliable centralized recharging mechanism. And what we came up with was the Nuru power cycle. Pedal power, that's a silly idea. But with the power cycle, you can provide 400 minutes of light for every minute of gentle pedaling. That means you can recharge 5 lights in 20 minutes, and each light will shine for 7 to 10 days. That's 300 or 400 times faster than most solar panels on the market. And you can recharge anytime, anywhere. The idea is to make the power cycle an energy platform for the off-grid market. So the next product we're coming out with is a mobile phone charger, and after that, possibly radios. With this approach, we equip local shopkeepers, who we call entrepreneurs. These shopkeepers sell lights to customers. Customers return, drop their light off to have it recharged, and pay 20 cents every time. With this approach, there's no initial investment needed on behalf of the entrepreneur, and there are no skills required. As long as you have a shop and you have legs or arms, you can be an entrepreneur. And we can put these entrepreneurs anywhere, so we can reach even the deepest rural markets. And we can set up these entrepreneurs very quickly. There's a 3-part training involving basic marketing skills, accounting, how to actually use the machine, and then they get lights on consignment, and once they have those lights, they're off and running. They do most of the marketing, there's minimal follow-up, so we can quickly establish a network of thousands of entrepreneurs with minimal staff and minimal overheads. With this approach, the entrepreneur earns $1.50 an hour profit. And remember before I said 3/4 of the East African population lives on less than $2 a day. So these people earn in 1 hour what most East Africans earn in an entire day. Now, when you compare our business model to normal companies, most companies, they just have one revenue stream, which is the sale of the product itself. That means that in order to get profit, you have to sell the lights or whatever product you're selling at a big markup, which prices most of the base of the pyramid market out. It means they can't afford it. We, however, have 3 revenue streams. So we sell the light at a very minimal markup so that even the poorest of the poor can afford our lights. Then we are become profitable and sustainable through recurring recharge fees and recurring carbon credits. If you compare this model again back to the telecom industry, they set up towers, we set up power cycle equipped entrepreneurs. They sell mobile phones at a minimal markup, we sell lights at a minimal markup. And then customers either pay for talk time or they pay for shine time. If you look at the figures again, all of the products are well less than $10 to buy, and then a matter of cents to continue to use. Meaning that the poorest of the poor, people with no savings, can actually afford them. With this, our light is by far the cheapest, at around half the price of the cheapest solar lantern, and with the option to pay in installments. The light also has superior functionality, as you can use it in a variety of different ways. There's superior aftercare services, as the entrepreneurs live in the community of the customers, and customers can return to them if they have any issues. And then there's, again, superior reliability. Power cycle recharges anytime, anywhere. And just to illustrate the impact, let me give you an example of one entrepreneur that we have in Rwanda. And this is a typical entrepreneur. His name is Samuel Habimana. He started almost 2 years ago. He sold 189 lights, which is typical. He earns almost $50 a month in profit, working for 1 hour and 15 minutes a day. Because of Samuel and his one power cycle, 189 families have access to improved lighting. Those families will save $35,000. In addition, each year, 19 tons of carbon dioxide will not be emitted into the atmosphere. 565 children will be able to read and study at night, and 945 people will not have to inhale noxious kerosene fumes or face the risk of fire. Because of our work, we've been recognized as the global leader in the industry, winning close to 20 awards in the last few years. So in conclusion, I think a lot of companies are very good at making products that people want, but what's challenging is making products that people not only want, but can also access and can afford. That's what I believe we've done. Thank you.